7. With this we will come to an end with the chapter and the end of the sums. So A, B and C is being done today. On Monday you will receive E, D, E and F. So we just concentrate on these 3 sums. They are big sums, they are a little difficult. So that is why I am going to do it in detail with you, and only these 3 sums have to be copied into your notebook. Remember, once you start with sum number 7, before you start sum number 7, write down this rule. This rule that I have written out here has to be written above sum number 7a. So that you remember the rule. This multiplication rule is very important for you to know and for you to understand, because it is this multiplication rule that will help you to do these 3 particular sums. Coming to the first sum, I have positive 8 added to a negative 2, subtracted to a negative 6, and subtraction again a negative 9. Now what do I do? The rule states that in order to solve a particular sum, I need to get rid of the brackets. And how do I get rid of brackets? I get rid of brackets by multiplying what's outside the bracket with what's inside the bracket. So I multiply what's outside the bracket with what's inside the bracket. You must remember, you have to multiply what's outside the bracket towards the left hand side, not to the right hand side. I do not multiply this minus and this minus. I multiply this plus and this minus to get rid of the bracket. It's always on the left hand side. What is on the left hand side of the bracket, outside the bracket, and what is inside the bracket have to be multiplied. Times will be that there will be a number outside and a number inside. You multiply the numbers. Times will be that there will be a sign outside and a sign with a number inside. You multiply only the signs. And that is why this rule of multiplication of signs has to be remembered. Let's revise. Plus into plus gives me a plus. Minus into minus gives me also a plus. Plus into minus gives me minus. And minus into plus gives me minus. That means, and that brings us to the conclusion, that when the signs are the same, the answer is always plus, and when the signs are different, the answer is always minus. Remember children, this is the rule for multiplication. It does not apply to the rule of addition and subtraction. The rule of addition and subtraction comes later on. Only after I apply the rule of multiplication, I will get rid of my brackets. And after I get rid of my brackets, then comes the next rule. And that is the rule of addition and subtraction. What is that rule? It has already been discussed with you, but I'll show you once again. So plus 18 remains as plus 18. I have to remove this bracket. So I multiply what's outside the bracket with what's inside the bracket. Plus into minus gives me minus 2. Minus into minus gives me plus. Look at that rule. Make sure that you write that rule just above question number 7a. Plus minus into minus plus 6. Minus into minus plus 9. So now I have got a positive 80, a positive 6, a positive 9 and a negative 2. Now what I will do is take all the positives and put them to one side. And I put all the negatives on one side. Now the side does not matter. You can put the negatives on the left and the positives on the right, or the positives on the left and the negatives on the right. But I always emphasize and I always tell my children that it's always better. It is always better to keep your positives to the left and the negatives to the right. Now let's choose our positives. Plus 18, plus 6, plus 9, and I leave some space and write minus 2. I leave some space and write minus 2. So I have all my positives together and negatives separate. Now applies the rule of addition and subtraction. The rule of addition and subtraction says that all positives can be added and got one positive number, and all negatives can be added and got one negative number. If the numbers are positives, you add and put positive. If the numbers are negative, you add and put negative. But when I have one positive and one negative, what have I told you? Then the rule states From the greater, take away the smaller, put the sign of the greater number. And that is why we separate the positives and the negatives. Now let's add all the positives and get a positive answer. 18 plus 6 gives me 24. 18 plus 6 gives me 24. 24 plus 9 gives me 33. So I have a plus 33 and nothing to add it. Minus 2 is all by itself. Now a positive and a negative. From the greater, take away the smaller. Put the sign of the greater number. As I have told you, we do not write plus in our answer. If it is a positive number, we do not write plus in our answer. 31 means it is plus 31. If it was minus 31, I would have put minus 31. It's not minus 31. The answer is plus 31, but in our answers, we don't put the positive sign. A number without a sign means that it is a positive number. Let's go to sum number B. Let's go one step at a time. Now you can see all the numbers have the signs, but there's only one number that is in the brackets, that is minus 56. The rest are all open without any brackets. So I write them as it is: minus 201 plus 253 minus into minus plus 56 minus 0. Now you say how minus 0? Because 0 is neither positive nor negative. But this minus is not attached to the 0. This is showing subtraction. It means whatever answer you get here, subtract 0 from it. Whatever answer you get in these three numbers, you subtract 0 from it, because this is the operation. Now let's put the positives to one side and negatives to one side. So I have plus 253 plus 56 minus 201 and minus 0 I will. This minus 0 is basically not going to make any difference to our answer. It's not going to be, because when I take minus 201 and from that I minus 0, the answer will be minus 201. Now I add my positives. 6 and 3, 9. 5 and 5, 10. Carry 1. Yes, 6 and 3, 9. 5 and 5, 10. Carry 1, 2 and 1, 3. So I get a positive 309. I get a positive 309. Minus 201 minus 0 will give me minus 201. Now I've got a positive and I've got a negative. So you get all your positives and get one answer. Here also minus 201 and minus 0 will give me minus 201. That 0 is not going to make any difference to the answer. The answer will still be the same. So positives one answer, negatives one answer. Now from the greater, take away the smaller, put the sign of the greater number. 9 take away 1 is 8. 0 take away 0 is 0. And 3 take away 2 is 1. It is a positive 108. I do not write plus in my answer. I leave it as it is. Remember children, a number without a sign is understood that it is a positive number. So in my answer, if my answer is a positive number, I don't write plus. But yes, if my answer is a negative, then I will write a negative in front of it, that it is a minus 108. If it was, but it is not. Let's go to sum C. Sum C, I have minus 1 plus minus 74 plus 190 plus minus 5. First, I get rid of my brackets. How do I get rid of my brackets? I get rid of my brackets by multiplying what's outside the bracket with what's inside the bracket. And I have to multiply all signs. So I must know the rule of multiplication of signs. Plus into plus gives me plus, minus into minus gives me plus, plus into minus gives me minus, minus into plus gives me minus. Like signs multiplied, answer is plus. Unlike signs multiplied, answer is minus. That rule is for multiplication. Remember, the rule for multiplication and division is the same. and the rule for addition and subtraction is also the same. But both the rules are different in their categories. So, minus 1, plus into minus, yes, plus into minus, minus 74, plus 190, plus into minus, minus 5. Now I have got 3 negative numbers and 1 positive number. 3 negative numbers and 1 positive number. I'll put my positive to the left, so I'll have plus 190. And I'll put all the negatives to the right. So minus 1, minus 74, minus 5. All negatives to the right hand side. Because negatives can be added and you can get one negative answer. Positives can be added and you can get one positive number. Positives can be added and you can get one positive number. Similarly, here there is only one positive number. But the negative numbers are 3. So I'll add all the 3 and I will get one negative number. I will add all 3 because all negative numbers can be added. All positive numbers can be added. But a negative and a positive cannot be added. They can only be subtracted. From the greater, take away the smaller, put the sign of the greater number. Remember, here addition and subtraction takes a whole new meaning. There's no more that you're adding or subtracting. It is the signs that tell you to add or subtract. If the signs are the same, addition happens. If the signs are different, then subtraction happens. So minus 1 and minus 74 gives me minus 75. And minus 75 and minus 5 gives me minus 80. Now I have got one positive and one negative. From the greater, take away the smaller. 190 minus 80. 0 take away 0 is 0. 9 take away, 8 take away, from 9 take away 8, 1. And this 1 remains. Which side will I put? Positive. But I don't put positive in my answer. A number without a sign means that it is a positive number. So this is how these 3 sums have to be done and they have to be put into your notebook. Do take very good care of yourselves, look after yourselves, keep your work updated. Very soon we will be starting revision. But nevertheless, we will continue into our new chapter. It's only just before the examination, a 5-day or a week's revision we will be doing and we will be clarifying your doubts. In the meantime, these are the 3 sums for today, nothing else. Do take very